Students, in last video we already discussed about neutralization and the different terms related to the neutralization and the how salt is prepared, what is the salt, the definitions of the ionic definition and the simple definition of the salts. Then the classification of the salts means some different type of salts I already taught. Now today I discuss the preparation of salt and the properties of a salt. Okay, but I want to tell before that from the preparation of a salt some important preparation of the laboratory preparation of some important salts which are from your course is reduced due to corona pandemic by the ICSE boards. So we have to reduce that portion, but we have to read the preparation of general preparation of different salts and the properties of the salts. Okay, so let's start. Properties of a salt means what? First to know, students, what is that? Proper salts are electrovalent compounds. You know, salts are electrovalent compounds. What is electrovalent compounds? You already taught in the chemical bonding and also in the SL based topic, etc. What is electrovalent bond? Means what? They can conduct electricity in their molten state as well as in their aqueous solution state only, because in this state only they can dissociate the respective ions and that ions can be responsible for conduct the electricity. So that's why they are the electrovalent compounds. Means in and also at the time of the salt preparation the electrons are the different elements are combined by the transforming of electrons. So that's why they are combined together to form a salt by the electrovalent bond and etc etc, all these things. Okay, this is one of the property electrovalent compound. Second is that salts are the non-volatiles in the nature. Okay, salts are non-volatile compounds. Is they are the non-volatile compounds, so they can non-volatile compounds, so they can be forms the solid crystals. Okay, next is that we have to go for the main important, that is the solubility. What is the solubility? Most of the salts are soluble in the water, and the degree of their solubility in the water is varies with the temperature. Means most of the salts can be soluble in the cold water without any condition, and some of the salts are soluble on increasing temperature. Means some are in the warm water, some with the means steam, like this. So that's why the solubility of the degree of the solubility of the different salts in water is the various with the temperature. I'm writing that point. What is solubility? Means what? The degree of solubility of salts in water is varies with temperature. Okay, students, varies with the temperature. And some salts without any condition they can be soluble with the cold water. These are the properties of related to the salts. Okay, now we have to read what is the soluble salts. What do you mean the soluble salt, and which salts are can be dissolved and the soluble with the water? Soluble salts means what? If at least 1 gram of a substance can be dissolved. I'm writing. So note down this one. You have to note these extra points and write wherever you can to prepare yourself. Okay. If at least if at least 1 gram of a substance can be dissolved in 100 ml. Again I am telling, if at least 1 gram of substance can dissolve in 100 ml of water, 100 ml of water at 290 298 Kelvin temperature, it is called a soluble salt. Okay, what does this mean? If at least 1 gram of a substance can be dissolved in 100 ml of water at 298 Kelvin temperature, it is called a soluble salt. Clear, students? Next point, if 0.1 gram to 1 gram substance can be dissolved in 100 ml of water at 298 Kelvin, so it is called partially soluble salt. Clear? What is it called? Partially soluble salt. Mind it, if at least 1 gram, then it is called soluble salt. If 0.1 gram to 1 gram of a substance can be dissolved in 100 ml of water, then it is called partially soluble. Then what is insoluble? If less than 0.1 gram of substance at 100 ml of water at 298 Kelvin can be dissolved. Okay, can be dissolved, then it is called insoluble salt. Insoluble salt. According the solubility, salts are of 3 types. One is soluble, partially soluble, insoluble. If at least 1 gram, maximum 1 gram can be dissolved, then that is soluble. If less 0.1 to 1 gram can be dissolved, then partially soluble. If the salt or the compound which can be less than 0.1 gram of can be soluble at the 100 ml of water at 298 Kelvin temperature, then it is told as insoluble salts. Okay, so let's see which salts are soluble and which are insoluble generally. Okay, means what? I am writing here salts and which salts are soluble and according their grouping. Okay, all the compounds, all the salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium are soluble in water without any condition. Clear, student? What I am told? All salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium. Means what? Potassium means K2SO4, K2CO3, NH4Cl, NaCl, etc. All salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium can be soluble in water without any condition. Okay. Next, number 2. Mind it, all nitrates and nitrites are also soluble. All nitrates and nitrites are also soluble. Clear? Nitrates means which are having NO3 minus ion. Okay, nitrite means which are having NO2 minus ion, means the salts PbNO3 2 minus. Okay, like this, these are can be soluble. All salts, all nitrites, whether that is lead and whether that is sodium, potassium, any nitrate, any nitrite salts can be soluble. Clear students? Next is that point 3. Okay, all chloride salts, all chlorides, bromides, all chlorides and the bromides and iodides, all chlorides, bromides, iodides are soluble in water. Okay, these are also soluble in water, except HgCl2. This is also chloride, but it is insoluble. Means what will happen, I will tell. Okay, HgCl2, AgCl, PbCl2, these are all insoluble. Means what is this, I will write these are in exception case. Exception means these are excepts. Okay, but in case of sodium, potassium, ammonium, all salts, these are not having any exception. All salts can be soluble. Here also all nitrates also soluble, no any exception case. But in case of the chlorides, bromides and the iodides are soluble. Means sodium chloride, sodium bromide. Suppose I am taking potassium chloride, potassium bromide, like any chloride, bromide can be soluble. But HgCl to mercurous chloride, AgCl, lead chloride cannot be soluble in the water. Okay, PbCl2, listen this, PbCl2 soluble in the hot water. Not in, these are not in hot water, not in cold water, but PbCl2 can be soluble in the hot water. Okay, this can be soluble in hot water, but not in the cold water. This is the exception of these three salts. Next we go for bit 4, all sulfate salts. All sulfates are soluble. Okay, all sulfates are soluble. Any sulfates means you can take FeSO4, calcium sulfate, sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. Any sulfates can be soluble. Okay, I'm writing. See, suppose I'm taking FeSO4, Na2SO4, sodium sulfate. These are the examples. Different type of calcium sulfate, any MgSO4, any type of sulfates can be soluble. Except here also there are some exception. See what? Calcium sulfate, CaSO4, PbSO4, okay, BaSO4. These are insoluble. Except these three, every salts are soluble. These are making the insoluble salts. White PPTs, they can be formed. So PbSO4 like this, PbSO4, CaSO4, they makes the hard insoluble substances. So these are the all sulfates can be soluble. Okay, next is the point 5, all carbonates. What is that? All carbonates and sulfides, SULPHID, sulfides, PHITS, sulfides, phosphates. Okay, phosphates. All carbonates, sulfides, sulfide, phosphates are insoluble. These are all are soluble, but these are insoluble. What is this? Are insoluble. Again I am telling, all these are told about the soluble nature, but here carbonate salts are sulfides, phosphates, sulfides are insoluble in the nature. Okay, means what? Suppose like as zinc carbonate, CaCO3, ZnS, FeS, HCO3. These are all sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate, sodium Na2S, ammonium. These are all are the, what is this? These are all solubles. Okay, except the ammonium. Ammonium told, so ammonium can be soluble. But what is the thing? Except the, I'm telling C means what, which are insoluble. So I'm writing see some examples: zinc carbonate, CaCO3, ZnS, FeS, sulfates, carbonates. Okay, bicarbonates also. H means bicarbonates means Fe, HCO3 whole twice. Bicarbonates also. Carbonates, bicarbonates, phosphates, oxides are all are insoluble except, see, this is the except of ammonium, okay, sodium, ammonium, sodium and potassium. What is this mean? All metallic carbonates are insoluble, sulfites are insoluble, sulfites are insoluble, phosphates are insoluble, bicarbonates are insoluble except ammonium carbonate, ammonium sulfide, ammonium phosphate, ammonium sulfides, sodium sulfide, potassium. Means potassium related with these anions, this type of compounds, means the compounds nitrate, carbonate, sulfides, bicarbonates of ammonium, sodium, potassiums are soluble. These are solubles. Okay, these are the thing. Metallic oxides and the hydroxides are insoluble. Another point. See, bit number 6. Metallic, all metallic. Okay, all metallic oxides and hydroxides. All metallic oxides and the hydroxides are soluble, means are sorry, these are metallic oxides and the hydroxides are insoluble, okay, except sodium hydroxide, sodium oxide, potassium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, potassium oxide or ammonium hydroxide, potassium, ammonium in 3 cases, ammonium in 3 cases. Now its carbonate, sulfate are soluble, or their oxides and the hydroxides also soluble, but they can be slightly soluble. What is that? They are slightly soluble. Okay, all metallic oxides, hydroxide insoluble like this, but except ammonium, sodium, potassium. Here also oxide and hydroxide of sodium, potassium and ammonium are slightly soluble. Okay, and next is that hydrolysis of water. What do you mean by the hydrolysis? It is the phenomena due to which salt is formed by the weak acid and the strong base. Or acid. When acid is reacts with the base, then only salt is formed. Okay, but the salt formation if happen by a weak acid. Okay, I'm telling weak acid and the strong base, or by a strong acid and a weak base, that reacts with the water to give an acidic or the alkaline solution is known as hydrolysis. Okay, so see, I'm right. So see students, the phenomena by which a salt formed by a weak base and a strong acid. Suppose the salt is formed by the reaction between a weak base and a strong acid, or a strong base and a weak acid, or I am telling in any way, if the salt is formed, then that salt when reacts with water, it give a acidic solution or a alkaline solution, then that is known as the hydrolysis. Okay, that means what? Whenever a salt is formed, that must be comes from the weak base or the strong acid, or a strong base with the weak base, whatever. The salts when reacts with water, whether it can be form acidic solution or it is the alkaline solution according the nature of the salt. Whether that is the acidic salt, it forms the acidic solution. Whether that is the alkaline salt, then it is forms the alkaline solution. So that nature of the solution it makes with the water is known as hydrolysis. Okay, so see, the salts formed by the strong base and the weak base. Okay, so see, I am telling strong base, the salt which are formed from the strong base and the weak base. Salts from the strong base and weak acid. Okay, means what? Strong base, weak acid, strong base. Suppose I am taking here, it is sodium hydroxide. Weak base, that is sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, it can be. Okay, when it is reacts, it forms the strong base. If it is the form, then it is maybe so like as the H2CO3. Salt is H2CO3 carbonic acid or CH3CO2H, like this. These salts, okay, these salts means like they can be formed from the strong bases like the potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide with a reaction of a weak acid. Then the hydrolysis in water to give a alkaline solution. Again I am telling, if the salts which are the salts like as the carbonic acid, if they are comes from the strong base, means the salt which is formed from the strong base with a weak acid when reacts, okay, then when it reacts with water, it forms hydrolyze. When it reacts with water or hydrolyze in water, it gives a alkaline solution. What it give means the product must be a the salt which is formed when hydrolyzed in water, then it forms a alkaline solution because it comes from the strong base. The salts which is formed from the strong base weak acid, they must be carrying the weak basic nature, so that is can forms the alkaline solution with water. Okay, next, like as the sodium carbonate, potassium acetate, these salts means what? When sodium carbonate, suppose the salt is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, this salt is formed when it reacts with water, 2H2O. Okay, so weak acid is these ones, H2CO3. Okay, the salt maybe it is forms the sodium carbonate when hydrolyzed in water, it forms H2CO3 plus 2NaOH. Clear? Weak acid again it forms. So it forms a alkaline solution. Next, the salt of the strong acid and the weak base. Again I am telling the salts of strong acids and the weak base, when they are hydrolyzed in water, it gives the acidic solutions. Means what? Again, the salt which come from a strong acid with a weak base, strong acid with a weak base, then that salt when hydrolyzed in water, it gives the acidic solution. What it form? Acidic solution. And the solution which have the less than pH is less than 7 must be, because it forms the acidic nature, acidic salt, that must be like as copper sulfate, FeCl3, aluminum chloride. So suppose I am telling the example of CuSO4. This is a salt which is formed from the H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Okay, weak base, that is the copper hydroxide. Clear? When it is means form, when it is it when reacts with the water, 2H2O, it form what? It form H2SO4, sulfuric acid with CuOH whole twice. It is reverse reaction. Clear, students? Means what? It can be hydrolyzed to form strong acid. So the solution which is of the solution which makes with the water is also acidic in the nature. the salts which are derived from the salt which is derived from the strong acid and the strong base. Strong acid salt which is derived from the strong acid with a strong base, both are strong, mind it. Here what is happened, strong base but weak base, strong acid weak base. Okay, it is strong base weak acid, but here strong acid strong base. Then what is happened, such as sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, potassium sulfate, these are, it gives the neutral solution. What is give? Neutral solution. Neutral means they can form a simple normal salt with the water. Okay, neutral solution. Next is that neutral solution, that salt when reacts with water, it form a hydrolyzed in water, it form a neutral solution. Next, if the salt formed from the weak base and the weak acid, okay, salt which is formed made from the weak acid and weak base, both are weak in this case, then what will happen, the like as acetic acid, weak acid is acetic acid, weak base is ammonium hydroxide. Then what will happen, the salt which is formed ammonium acetate, means in this case the salt which is of the acidic, when neutralized with water, it forms the acidic, alkaline or neutral depending upon the dissociated ion and undissociated molecule in that solution. Means what, when it hydrolyzed in water, it can forms the solution of acidic or alkaline or neutral, any type of solution it can be formed, but that is depending upon the dissociated ions and the also undissociated molecules, if whether there is present in that solution or not. Okay, these are the type of solubility and the hydrolysis of the salts according their formation, according the way of according the ions were come from the acids or bases. Except this, some of the salts are there which are having, except this, some of the salts are which are having some definite unites with the definite quantity of the water. You know about that in the 9th class, I think. So means what, some of the water molecules are combined with the salt. Okay, that is known as the water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? If some salts with the combine or unite with a definite quantity of definite molecule or the quantity of water. Means what? Salts with salts unites or combine, means they are only combined with that, but not they are reacted with this salts. Okay, unites or combines with a definite molecule of water. Definite molecule of water is known as water of crystallization. Water of crystallization. Clear, students? Then what is water of crystallization? Means what, when water of crystallization is in the loose chemical combination with their salts. Means so that's why here I am writing unite or combines, means loosely they are combined with the salt, and whenever we are heating the crystals of the salts, means salts at about 100 degrees Celsius temperature, they can be driven out, they can be evaporates, and we can be got only the simply compounds of the salt in that cases. Okay, these are the water of crystallization. Means example, blue vitriol, you know that CuSO4 5H2O. These are the 5 molecule of water which is only combines with the copper sulfate air. On heating, it can be, if we will heat it, then it can loses the 5 molecules of water, evaporates, and only the copper sulfate is present here, and the crystal form may be crumbled into powder. In some cases it can be changes its color, like as it's. So what I told, copper sulfate means it is in the blue color, blue when it is combines with the 5 molecule of water, so it is blue color. But in on heating, when it evaporates, when it loses 5 molecules of water, it becomes white. So these are known as the water of crystallization salts. Okay, next is some salt on heating the crystal. I told that on heating the crystal of the water of crystallization form, they loses some molecules of water. Okay, and what is that? Another term is there, decrepitation. What is that? Decrepitation. I already taught in the 9th class, but again I am here describing. What is decrepitation? On heating some crystals, some crystals of the salts, like as the sodium chloride, they producing a cracking sound, then that is known as the decrepiting. That means what? These are the big crystals of that is compounds of the salts can be breaking up into the smaller ones on heating, so it can create the sound, so that is known as the decrepitation. Okay, next is that efflorescence. Another is that, first one is the water of crystallization and second one is the efflorescence. What is efflorescence? Simply I am describing, because all these things are already already these things are taught in the 9th class. What is efflorescence? It is the property of some salt to lose their water of crystallization wholly or partly when they are exposed to air within a short period of the time period, and they became powdery. Okay, these are known as the efflorescent substances. Efflorescent substances means, again I am telling, they loses water of crystallization, they loses water of crystallization partially or wholly when they are exposed to dry air, and they became powder. They crumble down to powder. Okay, these are the efflorescent substance, and the nature is known as the efflorescence. Okay, the property is known as efflorescence, but the substance which are undergoing their source this type of nature, they are known as the efflorescent substances. Efflorescent substances, example is the washing soda. Example, washing soda. Washing soda means Na2CO3 10H2O. Okay, this is the water for crystallization form, but also it's showing the efflorescence nature. So washing soda, Glauber salt, Epsom salt. Glauber salt means what? Na2SO4 10H2O. Na2SO4 10H2O. Glauber salt means MgSO4 magnesium sulfate with heptahydrate means 7H2O. This is the Epsom salt. Okay, this is Glauber salt. These are the examples of the efflorescent substances. And the efflorescent nature means the higher the temperature of the air, the higher the efflorescence nature it became, because the air absorbs the more water when it is the temperature is more, with rising the temperature in the air, and it also decreasing the moisture of the substances by absorbing the moisture from the compound. So it can be happen, the higher the temperature of the air, the efflorescence property can be also increases. Okay, next one is the hygroscopic substances. What is hygroscopic? Some compounds, some salts are there which can absorb the moisture from the atmosphere without dissolving in it. Writing I am here, substances absorb moisture from the air without dissolving in it. Okay, only they can be absorbed, are known as the hygroscopic substances. and the phenomena is the called hygroscopy. Example, concentrated sulfuric acid. Next is that P2O5 hygroscopic substances. These are all quicklime CaO and silica gel. These are all are the hygroscopic substances. Okay, next is the deliquescent substances. Deliquescent means deliquescent means what? Certain water soluble substances when exposed to atmosphere in any temperature, they can be absorb moisture from the atmospheric air to become moist, and they ultimately dissolve with that water molecule to forms the saturated solution. Means what? In this case, the substances absorb moisture from the air and without dissolving in it. But here what will happen? The substances absorbs the moisture from the air, and they can be dissolved in that absorbed moisture or the water molecule to form the saturated solutions. That is known as the deliquescent substance, and the phenomenon is known as the deliquescency. Okay, means what? Substances absorb moisture. They can be absorb moistures, okay, from air when they are exposed in ordinary temperature or any temperature, absorb moistures from the air, and they can be dissolved in that moisture to form a saturated solution. Okay, this is known as the deliquescent substances, and the property and the phenomenon is known as the deliquescence. Example is the caustic soda, sodium hydroxide. Example is NaOH, KOH, potassium hydroxide, MgCl2, and another is the calcium chloride, CaCl2, FeCl3. There are so many deliquescent substances are there. Deliquescent occurs when the vapor pressure of the salt is much lower as compared to the atmospheric pressure. The deliquescent is minimized during the dry condition, whereas it is happen in maximum in whereas efflorescence is maximized in the dry conditions. Okay, means what? Efflorescent substances, it is maximized in the wet conditions, minimized in the dry conditions. Efflorescent substances lose their weight, while hygroscopic and deliquescent substances gain weight when exposed to atmosphere. Because they are deliquescent substances lost their weight means they can make the soluble, but the hygroscopic substances only absorb, and the water molecules are enclosed within the structure. Okay, next is the drying and the dehydrating agents. What do you mean by the drying agents? Drying and dehydrating agents. Drying and dehydrating agent means what? Some substances which are removes the drying means it can be dry the water molecules from the other substances, remove the moisture from the other substances, so they are can also called as the desiccating agents or the drying agents. Drying agents also called the desiccating agents. Okay, desiccating agents means what? They can remove the moisture from the other substances when they are mixed or when they are present at that moment, and almost all the hygroscopic substances are desiccating in their natures, like as the concentrated sulfuric acid, P2O5, calcium oxide, quicklime, silica gel, all are the dry hygroscopic substances, they showing the same natures, so drying agents and the hygroscopic substances almost alike. Okay, dehydrating agents means what? Are the substances they can remove the water molecule. Listen carefully. Dehydrating agents are the substances which can also remove water molecule. Here also they can be remove water molecule. Even from the compound they are. What is the mean? Means from other any substance they can be removed. Yes, even they are in the form of compound also they can be removed the water molecule from them. So they are the dehydrating agents. Dehydrating agents means example is the concentrated sulfuric acid. Dehydrating agent, concentrated sulfuric acid. That means what? Concentrated sulfuric acid is an example of a drying agent and also hygroscopic substance and also dehydrating agent. Okay, and concentrated sulfuric acid can remove the water molecule from the blue vitriol if it is can be react with it, so it can be dehydrating. Means what? If the copper sulfate is passed through the concentrated sulfuric acid or concentrated or sulfuric acid is present there, if copper sulfate we have to take or we have to add some concentrated sulfuric acid, then what will happen? The blue color of the copper sulfate salt can be changed to white color. Means the water molecules which are present, the 5 water molecules, they can be dry off by in the presence of a concentrated sulfuric acid. So it is used here, it is a dehydrating, means water molecules are removed out. Okay, so these are the type of the salts according the water molecules are present or unites with them, and these are the properties which are related to the solubility and they are the combined when they are with the water molecules. Next we have to read about the properties of the preparation of the salts. So see students, these are the preparation of soluble salts. I told different type of salt, soluble salt, insoluble salts. How the first we have to read the preparation of soluble salts. What is that? First is the direct combination or the synthesis method. Means what? Heating of two elements, means the metals when non-metals when combined, when they are heating, means when a metal or non-metals are heated, simply by the synthesis method a salt can be formed, like as the sodium when reacts with the chlorine to forms the sodium chloride, and Fe when reacts with the chlorine to forms the Fe chloride, FeCl3. So these are the synthesis or the direct combination of a metal with the non-metal. And but in this method only powder salts can be formed. Powder form of the salts only they can be formed. Okay. Next is that simple displacement. What do you mean by the displacement? Displacement means it is the chemical change or the chemical reaction in which more active elements can be displaced a less active element from its salt solution. You know displacement reaction. What is the displacement reaction? More active elements can be displaced the less active elements from the compounds in that reaction. That means see here what is happen when a active metal is reacts with the acids, dilute acids. See active metals zinc, iron are when reacts with the dilute acids of the sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, then they can form zinc sulfate FeCl3 with the release of hydrogen gas. How these are the form? When zinc is reacts with the sulfuric acid, then the high reactive metallic ion is displaced the less reactive metallic ion to forms the ZnSO4 here. So zinc sulfate is a form as in the form of a salt. Here also Fe is displaces hydrogen to forms the FeCl2 because Fe is a highly reactive metal as compared with the H plus ion, metallic ion. So it can displace two forms the FeCl2 with the release of hydrogen gas. Next process is, these are all are the soluble salts. All chlorides are soluble, I told already. So like this, here see sulfate is also soluble, zinc sulfate, FeCl2, here is FeCl3, FeCl2 chloride salts of iron, so they can be soluble. Here see decomposition method of salt preparation. But here of different type of decompositions are there. Means decomposition of carbonate also form a salt, bicarbonate form salt, sulfides, bisulfides, everything we will be read. So see, decomposition of metal by the acids. When what? Metallic carbonates. Means what? When a metallic carbonate when decomposed by an acid. First we have to know about what is decomposition. Decomposition means what? It is a chemical reaction in which a compound is breaks. Okay, when a compound is breaks up into its different elements or the simpler compounds is known as the decomposition. So what is decomposition? Decomposition means breaking of a compound in a chemical reaction into its different elements, simpler elements or the simpler compounds is known as the decomposition. So here what is happen? Copper carbonate, it is the carbonate, metallic carbonate, which is decomposed by the reaction of acid to form CuCl2, water and the carbon dioxide gases releases as it is the carbonate compound, carbonate salt. Okay, so it is forms the copper chloride which is the soluble salt. Next is the decomposition of a bicarbonate, also same process, whether it is the carbonate, here also carbon dioxide gas releases. And sodium bicarbonate when decomposes forms the sodium chloride salt with H of hydrogen ion from the acid is reacts with the means H means acidic ion of the acidic salt to forms the water molecule. So sodium chloride is formed here. Decomposition of a sulfite. Sulfite means SO3 minus ion. CuSO3 when reacts with the nitric acid, it forms the copper nitrate. It is decomposes to forms the copper nitrate with the release of water and the sulfur dioxide gas. As it is the sulfite, it must be released the sulfur dioxide gas. Clear? Next, decomposition of a sulfide, IDE. Sulfide means what? S means zinc sulfide. When react with the acid, it is decomposed to form Zn sulfide. Zinc sulfide is decomposed to form zinc and that is reacts with the sulfate ion to forms the ZnSO4 with the H2S gas will be liberated. These are the decomposition of different compounds, carbonates, bicarbonates, sulfides, etc. by an acid to form the soluble salts like as the copper chloride, sodium chloride, copper nitrate, sodium chloride, zinc sulfide, etc. Next is that neutralization. Neutralization means what? You know that neutralization? Neutralization is a method of when acid with a soluble base is known as, neutralization means what? When an acid is reacts with a soluble base, that is the neutralization. Okay, but that neutralization means what? See here, nitric acid, you know, sodium acid when reacts with the base to forms a salt with the water, and these salts are soluble in the nature. But here another thing I want to tell, neutralization of an acid with an insoluble base is also known as the titration. What is that? Titration. This is the titration. Again I am telling, neutralizing an acid with an insoluble base. See here, insoluble base means suppose means what? Nitric acid. Insoluble base means what? Suppose here I will take the nitric acid. Okay, lead hydroxide, insoluble base, this one. When this is neutralized means base alkali is the PbOH whole twice. When it is reacts with the acid means acid can be neutralized by the reaction of this type of base to form a soluble salt, lead nitrate. Then that process is also known as the titration. It is also neutralization because acid is reacts with the base. But if it is insoluble base reacts with the acid to form a soluble salt, then that is known as the titration. Okay. Next, see another method of preparation of a soluble salt, action of alkali on metals, certain metals, and their oxides and the hydroxides also forms the soluble salts. Means here see zinc, zinc oxide, zinc hydroxide. I am taking the metal of zinc. You can take any metals. You can take the metals of aluminium, take the metal of metal of aluminum and zinc. See here I am taking the zinc, you can take the aluminum as an example to better understand. Alkalis, you can take sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. When these are reacts, they can forms the Na2ZnO2, potassium zincate, sodium zincate. These are the soluble salts. Okay, soluble salts are obtained by the evaporation of water followed by the crystallization method. I am telling one point here. Soluble salts after formation can be obtained by the evaporation followed by crystallization. Mind all these processes, some main points. Okay, can you understand? These must, but some salts are like is zincate, aluminate. These are what? Sodium zincate, sodium aluminate. These are found only in the solution. So these salts cannot be obtained their pure form by the crystallization, these type of salts. But other soluble salts we can be obtained by the evaporation method, and if we can followed by the crystallization method also. Next we have to go for the preparation of some insoluble salts. That also like is direct combination. Direct combination means heating of a metal with the non-metals. Fe when reacts with the sulfur, then it forms the FeS, zinc, ZnS, lead sulfide, zinc sulfide, all are the insoluble salts. By the combination of acidic oxide with the basic oxide, acidic oxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon non-metallic oxides, when reacts with the metallic oxides, they forms the insoluble salts. CaSO3, CaCO3 like is on heating. By the precipitation reaction, you know precipitation reaction means what? Some salts of insoluble salts on reaction with the soluble salt solution or an acid. Means see, some soluble salts with the insoluble salts, they forms the what? Barium sulfate, that is the insoluble salt, it can be formed. So like as when there are soluble salts, when reacts with the acid also, AgCl, it is in the form, it is the also the insoluble salts. But what is the main point here? Insoluble salts can also be formed from the insoluble salts. But what is happened? These salts always prepared by the precipitation method. Precipitation means they can be precipitated in different colors. Means insoluble compounds can be settled down in that solution, in the beaker of the solution. So they are known as the precipitates. Insoluble salts also can form from the another insoluble salt also. Like as here I am taking the example of PbSO4. Lead sulfate, it is the insoluble salts can be formed from the PbO. Here I am telling insoluble salt, see PbCO3, BSO, insoluble salt from the soluble salt. But from the insoluble salt also insoluble salt can be formed. PbCO3, it is an insoluble salt. See, from PbCO3 also PbSO4 can be formed. How these are happen? See here, when from the PbSO4 or PbCO3, first we have to convert them. Means first we have to convert into the soluble salt, which then can be used for the preparing of the desired insoluble salt. Means first we have to convert this is the insoluble salt, this is the insoluble salt. First I want to convert them to soluble form. From the soluble, if I will change the PbCO3 to PbNO3, then it can be easy to me to change it again an insoluble salt. So see what will I have to do? PbCO3, it is the insoluble salt. Okay, PbCO3 when reacts with the nitric acid HNO3, it form PbNO3 whole twice, which is a soluble salt. Okay na, H2O plus CO2. From PbNO3, now it is the soluble salt, PbNO3 whole twice plus reacts with the sulfuric acid. When acid is, I will go for this type of reaction. When reacts with the acid, it forms the PbSO4 plus 2HNO3. Can you understand? This is the way. From PbO, Also, when it is reacts with the nitric acid, it forms the PbNO3. From PbNO3 I can reacts with the sulfuric acid to forms the PbSO4 as a precipitate. From PbNO3, after preparation of PbNO3 as in the soluble form, if I will add Na2SO4, another soluble salt, then can also it forms the insoluble salt, PbSO4 as in the white PPT plus 2 NaNO3. Okay, these are also the type of reaction, type of salt preparation, insoluble salt preparation from the insoluble salt, first making them soluble form, then after we have to follow the next these processes. These are all are the impractical methods, means these are all are the generally we can be prepare the salts, but there are some laboratory preparation of some salts also in your course, but they are already reduced by the board. So leave the person and you have to follow, then you have to go ahead to understand remaining topics. Okay, these are all about the things for the salts, acid and bases. Already everything I taught. You can follow your book. If you have the doubt, then you can ask me on my phone that you have in your groups, so you can be clear your doubts. Thank you.